Right, DPS build. Some slight changes because obviously Polished Whetstone got a teeny tiny nerf. It's honestly not that bad. The previous build that I did does still work to a high standard as well. It's just other things are now more in line with it. So this is kind of a bit of a side grade. And first thing I want to state is, because I did a video on it and it was more aimed at people that use it throughout all the time. Against something like Claviger that has no weak spots, you can remove one of the rings. It's kind of a bit of a clue as to what one it is because of the amount of status I've got going on. And you can use Burden of the Gambler, which will benefit you a grand total of 7% more damage. That's it. Over the actual initial build. So pay attention to what boss is coming up, and then you feel free to swap out Hunter's Band for Burden of the Gambler. In hindsight, probably should have used that for this fight, but I didn't. So what we're using here is Hive Cannon. Simply, even though it has been slightly nerfed, the mod shot on it is still way too good to give up. And I'm also using Beam Rifle with Cold Spear, along with Vulcan's Detonator. That is giving us 3 separate status: Corrosive, Frostbite, and Burning. Burning obviously applies a little bit of DPS over time. And from there, we're basically just going to start racking up critical damage by using Radiant Armor with, of course, the lovely Beam Rifle. Now, this build does have one huge bonus over my previous one, and that is the simple fact that it deals with mobs pretty damn easily and isn't having to rely on the utilization of Swarm to do so. You just use Hive Cannon and just, along with Vulcan's Detonator, you can deal with groups and mobs pretty damn easily. I am using Vulcan's Detonator just for the simple fact of utilizing the Hive Cannon shots to apply a status, so that regardless, I've always got one status up. And if you use the Cold Spear, the explosion with Vulcan's Detonator with Cold Spear, that will apply 2 procs, and then obviously utilizing the Hive Cannon mod will also apply 2 procs of status. And from there, you can basically just add your third one, depending on what it would be. It would either be Corrosive or Frostbite, depending on how you want to go. Don't really need all 3 for generalized mobs. 2 is more than enough. 1 is generally more than enough, but once you've got 3, you're really good to go. And Ring of the Punisher will sort pretty much everything else out from there. If things do go a little bit awry and things are getting close, we are using Scar of the Jungle God to apply that 4th proc, which is a total of 20% increase in range damage. This thing actually does do some serious damage, and at the moment it's doing about 800 damage more than just the Bleed Beam Rifle setup with Fan of Knives and Polished Whetstone. The only downside to this is Swarm obviously does an absolute metric ton of damage. As long as you are focusing single target, this isn't too far behind, and you are going to be missing out on the stacking from Radiant Armor that Swarm provides. But other than that, this build works pretty much just that tiny bit better. In the meantime, have fun, good luck, and don't die.